All is well. When you say all is well, what you're really saying is God is still on the throne. I'm not going to live upset, bitter, guilty. I may be in a night season, but I know this too shall pass. All is well. Somebody said, well, I thought the medical report wasn't good. Yes, that's true, but all is well. God is restoring health back into me. Your child is still off course? Yes, but I'm not worried. All is well. As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. Joel, how can you say all is well when you went through a breakup? You lost a loved one. You still haven't met the right person. The way you can say it is because you know the night season is only temporary. You know joy is coming. You know what was meant for harm, God is turning to your advantage. You know after this is a long, blessed, faith-filled life. Now, don't talk yourself into being miserable. We all have night seasons, things we don't understand. Keep a report of victory coming out of your mouth. If you're going to magnify something, don't magnify your problems, magnify your God. Talk about His greatness. Talk about His favor. And yes, you may have big challenges, but can I tell you, we serve a big God. The sickness may seem impossible, God can do the impossible. That obstacle may look permanent, one touch of God's favor will thrust you to a next level. Quit worrying, God is saying all is well. In your finances, all is well. In your health, all is well. In your family, all is well. It may be night right now, but morning is coming. You're going to see what God was doing behind the scenes. And every day you stay in faith. Every day you keep a good attitude despite the darkness, you are passing the test. That night season will come to an end. The psalmist said, when darkness overtakes the righteous, light will come bursting in. It's going to happen suddenly, unexpectedly. You didn't see it coming. You woke up and it was still dark, nothing had changed, then suddenly you get the break you need. Suddenly your health turns around. Suddenly you meet the right person. The light will come bursting in. Moses went through a night season. As a young man, he made a mistake and killed someone that was mistreating a Hebrew slave. He knew he was called to deliver the Israelites, but he got out of God's timing and tried to do it on his own. He had to flee for his life. He spent 40 years on the backside of the desert in hiding. He felt alone, forgotten. It was his fault. Every voice said, too bad, you blew it, you're a failure. But God doesn't waste anything that we go through. He uses it to get us prepared for our destiny. In those years out in the desert, Moses couldn't see what God was doing behind the scenes, but God was making him and molding him. He thought he was finished, but God was using that time to develop his character. He was getting him prepared for his comeback. Like Moses, you may have made mistakes that had put you in a night season. Something was delayed, you had to take a detour, you're not where you thought you would be. Now you think you have to settle there and never accomplish what God put in your heart. You may not realize it, but right now, God is getting you prepared for your comeback. What He started, He's going to finish. He's already taken into account every wrong turn, every mistake, every bad break. It may look like the end to you. The truth is, it's just a temporary delay. It's a time of testing, a time of proving, where your character is being developed. God is working in you, polishing off the rough edges. He's getting you prepared for where He's taking you. 40 years later, God came back and said, all right, Moses, now I'm ready for you to deliver my people. The scripture says Moses was the most humble man in all the land. In that night season, Moses changed. He learned to wait on God, to listen to His voice, to walk in humility. He came up higher in his character. In the difficult times, stay pliable, stay open. Say, God, make me and mold me. Show me where I need to change. You grow in the tough times. Even physically, you grow at night when you're asleep. In the same way, when you're in a night season, you may not like it, but it's working for you. You're getting stronger. You have to be prepared for where God is taking you. Moses couldn't handle it the first time. He made a mistake, had to run. God didn't write him off. He didn't cancel his destiny. He used the night season to refine him. When Saul was chasing David through the desert, there were several opportunities for David to kill Saul. He could have taken his life, gotten rid of his problem. David wouldn't do it. He knew Saul had been anointed by God. He told his men, I'm not going to harm what God has anointed. After he passed these tests, after David showed God what he was made of, a man of character and integrity, God took care of Saul, and David was made the king. In the night seasons, if you will pass these tests, change where you need to change, deal with the areas God's bringing to light, prove to him that you'll do the right thing when it's hard. You'll forgive even though they hurt you. Then like David, because your character has been developed, God will bring you out of that night season and get you to where you're supposed to be. But some things we can only develop in the dark. Without the night seasons, we wouldn't become all God created us to be. A caterpillar can be going along just fine. Everything is great. But down deep, something says, you're not supposed to crawl your whole life. You have more in you. He gets excited thinking, yes, that's right. Then he looks in the mirror and says, what was I thinking? I'll never fly. I'm just a glorified worm. That's impossible. But one day, the caterpillar spins a cocoon around itself. He hangs upside down from a branch. It's dark. He can't move. He can't eat. If you were to ask him when he was in the cocoon, he would say, let me go back to where I was. Let me go back to being a caterpillar. I don't like where I am. I'm uncomfortable. It's dark. It's lonely. What he doesn't realize is in the dark, a transformation is taking place. Before long, he starts feeling some wings. He gets the strength to push out of that cocoon. Now, instead of crawling on the ground, he's a beautiful butterfly floating through the air. Like the caterpillar, none of us like the night seasons. We don't like being uncomfortable. We don't see anything happening. But there are times that God incubates us. He takes us through the dark places, not to make us miserable, but in the dark, a transformation is taking place. You're growing, you're being refined. You may not like it, but you have to keep reminding yourself your wings are developing. You're about to step up to a new level. No more crawling, living in mediocrity. You were made for higher things. You may be in a night season, but by faith, I can see your cocoon starting to open up. I can see a wing coming out. This is no time to be discouraged. You're on the verge of taking off. You're about to become a beautiful butterfly. You're going to go places that you've never dreamed. Now, don't complain about the cocoon. It's dark, it's uncomfortable, I'm lonely. Keep a good attitude. It's all a part of the process. God is changing you from glory to glory. In the scripture, Jacob had not lived the right kind of life. He was dishonest. He cheated people, tricked his brother out of his birthright. You would think that God wouldn't have anything to do with him. But God doesn't write us off. He keeps working with us, showing us his mercy. And Jacob was traveling on a long journey through the desert. He was hot and tired, hungry. Nothing was going his way. He came to a place to spend the night. All he could find for a pillow was a rock. He was in a hard place, a lonely time, a night season. I'm sure he thought that God had forgotten about him. He went to sleep that night down on himself, discouraged, full of regrets. While he was sleeping, he had a dream. He saw the heavens open up. There was a huge staircase with angels going up and down. At the top, the Lord was standing there. He said, Jacob, the ground you are lying on belongs to you and your descendants. I will protect you wherever you go. I will be with you continually until I give you everything that I have promised.